nofsnar tajjeb Talking Sliema illum ma l-akwist il-ġdid tagħna Geoffrey Acheampong illi minn ftit ieħor se nkun qiegħed nintroduċih lilkom u nsiru nafuh daqsxejn waħda aħjar. Però qabel ma nibdew nitkellmu ma' Geoffrey fuq dak kollu li qiegħed jiġri fil-Camp Slimis u kif irnexxinna fl-aħħar irridu ngħidu nakkwistaw lil dan il-plejer. L-ewwel ejja nibdew billi nitkellmu daqsxejn waħda fuq l-sponsors. L-sponsors li huma super importanti għal dan il-klabb. L-sponsors huma NM Group, Come On Group, X-Ace, Cozy Rooms, Daikin, Eurosport, Kia Motors, l-aħħar mhux l-inqas Zarb Coaches bħalma dejjem ngħidilkom bħas-soltu, ovvjament dawk minnkom illi kollhom bżonn xi tip ta' servizzi li joffru dawn in-nies nagħtuhom preċedenza dawn huma nies li dejjem jinvestu fil-klabb tagħkom. Infakkarkom ukoll nhar is-Sibt li ġej fl-4:30 kontra Zejtun is-Centenary logħba li t-tieni logħba minn dawn l-10 logħbiet għaddejna l-ewwel waħda rbaħna l-ewwel waħda b'mod stupendi rridu ngħidu qatt ma konna f'diffikultà sinċerament, ġifieri konna qegħdin hemmhekk blajna xeba kesħa ukoll dawk kollha li kienu qegħdin hemmhekk belaw xeba kesħa magħna, però għall-inqas ħriġna minn hemmhekk rebħa u rebħa tajba rridu ngħidu. Ovvjament biex nkunu nistgħu nikkomunikaw daqsxejn waħda aħjar ma' Geoffrey, ovvjament se jkunu qegħdin nitkellmu bl-Ingliż għal dan il-programm. Dawk minnkom illi jkollhom xi kumment xi jagħmlu jridu jgħaddu xi ħaġa xi kumment lil Geoffrey, qabdu iktbuh fil-parti tal-messaġġi u jiena ovvjament naddi il-messaġġ lil Geoffrey jekk ma jitlax wieħed minn dawk il-messaġġi li jitilgħu awtomatikament fuq il-programm. Nelbu bl-Ingliż. I'm switching to English, Geoffrey, just for you today.
Sounds good. Thank you. Thank you.
Geoffrey, first and foremost, good afternoon. Thank you. I know that you've just finished your training session and you made your way very quickly home so that you can have a chat with us. First and foremost, welcome to the club. I hope you're finding yourself well at the club, actually.
Thank you. It has been a really fun time already.
That's
Thanks for
very
having
good.
me also.
That is excellent. So, Geoffrey, today we are here, very obviously, to speak with you a little bit, to get to know even the person rather than the player, because truly and honestly, we've known Geoffrey for the last 2 years. He's been in Malta, you know, with your previous club. So, truly and honestly, by and large, we know who Geoffrey is as a player. But who is Geoffrey outside of the pitch? What does Geoffrey do when he's home, when he's back home and he needs to relax?
Not much. Just I spend most of my mornings early. I live in Melilla, a little bit further out. So if it's nice out, I'm out on the rooftop, just reading and relaxing. I meditate in the mornings. So it's a calm morning when it's a nice and beautiful day. It's been a little chilly lately, so I'm a little bit more indoors to start my day. And during the rest of the day is just kind of getting prepared for training. If I need to go in early a little bit to go get a massage or see the trainer for any knock I got in the week or a game, I go do that. But you know, it's just a day in the life of a professional athlete, really, just taking care of myself and keeping my mind and body ready for the game on the weekend. So,
yeah, Geoffrey. So, how was Geoffrey as a small kid? You know, I mean, how did you develop? What pushed you towards football? I mean, I know it's a passion. You know, it's always been a passion. But what pushed you there?
So I was born and raised in Ghana. I had an older brother that loved football. He played football since we were super young, and so I would just kind of follow him around to go have a kick about. And then I just fell in love at that point. And then when it was time for me to just kind of hop around with him in the team that he played on, I just realized that it was something I really enjoyed. So as a younger kid, everywhere that the ball, every time I could hear a ball bounce on any field or any surface, you could find me there. That I always gravitated towards that. And so as a younger kid, that was just just became my passion. It was just something. And then especially Ghana being such a huge soccer country, it just always was something that if I wasn't in school, if I wasn't running errands for my family, I think that you would catch me doing was just playing football. So it always became the pastime. There was nothing else apart from just like being on a soccer field and just playing football. So
like every other kid, Geoffrey, probably you had the player that maybe, you used to look at, to get to it. Who was that player?
Yeah. At a very young age, I think it was Mike Lysian, who ended up playing with Chelsea. Madrid. Yeah. He was just one of the most robust midfielders. I just enjoyed the work ethic he always had. And then also just being a Ghanaian kid, being able to see somebody that looked like me play on that level that I could just watch on TV was always super inspirational. It was not too foreign to just see somebody that kind of looked like me and see him at that level. So it just always just made me feel good. Every time he was on TV, I could just imagine myself being in that position. So as a younger kid, it was probably Asian.
How would you say that your transition from youth football to professional football has been, I don't know if you maybe remember your first time that your coach called you up for the seniors team, for example, How was it, right? How was that transition?
It was, to be honest, it was scary, but also almost more of a relief than any scare factor. I had moved to the US, like the United States, for school when I was 14. So I had gone to school from 14 to around 18, and then around when I turned 19, I moved to France to sign my first professional contract. But I had spent 6 months in the youth system there before I signed my first professional contract. And so between that time when you're training with the youth team or the reserves and just looking forward to your call up, it's just kind of an interesting period. And so you're training with the first team almost to prove yourself every day and just hoping that one day you get a call up. And so it's always, you're waking up every morning trying to just impress. And so for me, it was the first time that you get that opportunity. It is obviously super scary because it's something you've looked forward to, but then it almost takes also another, just messing up that one chance to just be back on the line again, because there's just so many other kids, your teammates and people who are also looking to take that chance. So for me, it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was a good experience because it just came that day where it was everything I had dreamed of and everything I had wanted. So it was, I just took it in stride.
Do you remember about that game? Do you remember which one it was, against who it was? Yeah?
Yes. Yeah. It was against Saint Etienne in an away game. So it was, normally it's Monday through Thursday. You're kind of figuring out if you're going to be in the squad. At that time, I wasn't a professional player yet. I was just a youth team player, just training with the first team. And so I just got a call up to be part of the 18, and it was just almost surreal. So Friday, we traveled to Saint Etienne for a Saturday game. And then also, again, you're a youth player just with the first team, and you just, you're just along for the ride. It's just, everything is so big and so grandiose.
Yes,
and then all of a sudden, with about 5-10 minutes in, he looks to the bench and tells me to go warm. But again, your heart drops again. You go, okay, is it really happening? And then you get called to go in. And so it's just all these little steps of it that is like, first you get called up to train, first you get called up to be in the 18, and then you're on the team bus, and then you're warming up, and then your number comes up. So it's like these little steps where oh God. And then, so I do remember it. I'll probably remember it for the rest of my life. It was an amazing experience, but definitely a nerve-wracking one too. But all in all, it was a really good experience.
But can we say that once you are on the pitch, it just takes you a few seconds to settle down? Because at the end of the day, you know who you are, you know what player you are, So at the end of the day, just after those 20 seconds of nerve-wracking, I'm in now, it's the same game everywhere, It's a pitch, it's a ball, and you're just playing, Did it take you longer than 20 seconds? Let's put it this way, to
to be honest, not really. So I remember he just put his arms around me and it was like 5 minutes left and he goes, just go have fun. And then, as your coach telling you go have fun on that level, it's not really go have fun. It's like actually go out there and do your job. But I hopped on the field. I hopped on the field, and everything else just kind of went blank. I just felt like a kid again. I just hopped on there, got in my position, and I was just like running around. The ball came to me. I had my first touch, took a deep breath, and everything was like, I felt like I belonged. I was just done. I was like, I just felt like 7 years old again, and just back on the playground. So that kind of goes away after that.
And after these experiences, how did Malta happen, Geoffrey?
So a little bit of a journey, man. So after my first team in France, my team got relegated to the second division. The coach that I was with at that time that brought me in he lost his job, he got sacked. So there was just a lot of events that happened in that short span. Things just happen. It's football. And so after that, I ended up moving to Mexico. I signed with a Liga MX team called Veracruz. I was there I signed a 3-year deal. First 6 months, coach that brought me in gets sacked. So again, back on the road. But at that time, before that, I had gotten interest to come back to the US with the LA Galaxy. And so right when they got sacked, I reached out to the technical director there, and he just offered me a contract at that point. So it was just like, I didn't want to kind of bounce around anymore. So I was back in LA for about 2 years. And then on my second year there, on my third season, I suffered an injury that kind of sidelined me for a bit. And then after that, came back, kind of struggled to get back into the team. And then I had a couple of offers before my injury, which was in Finland and in Sweden. The Finnish team stuck around throughout that time. I rehabbed, ended up in Finland during the early points of the COVID period. So it was kind of a little bit of everybody figuring out what football was even going to look like at that time. So I ended up spending 2 seasons in Finland. And then before that, actually, Monster had reached out because one of my teammates from when we were super young, Divine played for Monster. So when Divine left, Monster had reached out looking to replace Divine, but I had signed that contract with Finland, with a team in Finland, Kajani in Finland, and then after Rovaniemi. So I always kind of knew about the league. I always knew a couple of teams out here in Malta, but it was always in the, I will kind of get to it when it gets there. And then my second season in Rovaniemi in Finland, after that season, and then Monster reached out, and I decided, it was time. And then, to be honest, it was very cold in Finland. It was very cold in Finland. It was warm and sunny in Malta, so it made that decision a little bit easier. It made it a little easier.
Let's have a look at what the supporters are saying, because I'm seeing loads of messages coming up, So let's go through them a little bit so that I understand a little bit what they are saying. So Caroline Mifsud says hello to all. Abd Blues dejjem inħeġġeġ supporters li miżi jibqgħu jitilgħu jissapportjaw il-Benjamini tagħna. Every now and then when there is a message which is not for you and it's in Maltese, I will read it in Maltese very obviously. Caroline says hello Geoffrey, well done for your super games. Pierre Muscat, one of the supporters that is over there continuously, we know him very lovingly as Peanuts. He tells you welcome to the club, Geoffrey. Caroline Mifsud, again, she sends another message and she says, welcome to the club, Geoffrey. Wish you all the best. Renato Vella, welcome to our glorious team. Keep up the work you are doing and best of luck with our team. Caroline Mifsud, Rupert, very the best. Okay, thank you, Caroline. Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Joanne Weber, I don't know if you know this person. Benvenido o Blues, Geoffrey. Bienvenido o Blues, Geoffrey. I think this is in Spanish, I guess, something like
Bienvenido.
that. Bienvenido. Joanne Weber. Nice to have you here, Joanne. Alfred Grek, fakkarom li għanna likla l-24 ta' fraġo għasnima Band Club prezz 15 euro. Mela. Tajjeb li fakkarna ta' xew waħda. Alfred, nixtin fakkarkom għanna likla illi qed jorganizzaw supporters fl-24 ta' frar, Sliema Band Club, prezz 15 euro, xejta barra minnaw, niltaqgħu daqsxejn noqogħdu ngħidu kelma, nieħdu gost. Min irid jiġi jew jgħid lil Alfred fuq 77895415 jew inkella lil Karl fuq 77351000. Ovvjament dawn in-numri qegħdin fiċ-chat, tistgħu tarawhom dawk minnkom illi jkunu jixtiequ jikkontattjaw lil Alfred jew lil Kyle biex ikunu jistgħu jibbukkjaw posthom għal din l-ikla, jistgħu jużaw dawn in-numri u jikkontattjaw lil Alfred u lil Kyle. Ejja taħalli niltaqgħu daqsxejn waħda sabiħ illi noqogħdu nitkellmu daqsxejn waħda supporters bejnietna. Back to you, Geoffrey, coming back to you in English, very obviously. So, how did Sliema happen there? Because at the end of the day, I mean, other clubs are other clubs, we are Sliema. So, tell me, how did we happen?
Yeah. It is quite simple, actually. So, after my last game of Monster, obviously, Monster had this season. Monster had some projects that some goals that they set for the season, and one of the goals was to get to Europe, finish top 4 and get to Europe. So we had finished at that point, lost the last game, but we had finished in a pretty comfortable spot to come back and get back to work. But I had talked to the director before that, because he had shared with me that there were some clubs who were interested in the winter, and so I should just keep my options open. And even though that is the goal for the club, once these options come and there's something that I would want to explore, he will look into allowing me to explore those. And so I had just gotten back from vacation for Christmas. The president reached out, Mr. Perry reached out, we had a chat. I called up the director for Monster and told him that the president for Sliema had reached out, and he asked to get a coffee and just have a friendly conversation, and if I had to go ahead to do that. He gave me the go ahead. I sat down with the president, we had a lovely conversation, and to me, after talking to him, it was just very clear that it was a project that I would want to be a part of. I know Monster is a club that has these ambitions, but the project in general that Sliema has, to me, felt a little bit more long-term. There was a lot more longevity with it, and there was a future that I thought, in whatever small way that I could be a part of it, it just felt more enjoyable, to be honest. And so after I talked to the president, he emphasized that I talked to the coach, and that was something I felt really special, to be honest, because normally in these spaces, these presidents normally kind of just take the role of just telling the coach who he's bringing in and what the cases may be. But he emphasized that I met with the coach the next day, so it was something that I really noticed and I actually found really interesting. So the next day I met with Coach Paul. We sat down. He outlined everything else that he saw for his team and he saw for the future with the club, and it's something that I honestly fell in love with from the very beginning. Compared to my experiences that I've had in previous clubs and in Malta, it just felt refreshing, to be honest. And so after that, I just liked everything else that they talked about and what they saw for the future, not just this season, but what will come after the next and then the next. And it was just that simple. I spoke back to Monster, reported back to them, told them that it would be a project that I would like to join, and they gave me the go ahead, and it was just that simple. And I know that the question is probably like asking, because this is one question that I got a lot. It's like, why do you leave the team in Premier to join a team in the Challenge League? But it's just quite simple. If you could tell from the work that is being put with the club, it's a club that feels and belongs in the Premier Division. And so all efforts are to try and get back to that space. And to be honest, if I could play any part in bringing Sliema back to the Premier Division and being part of a project that maintains its status and fights for a place, not just to come back down, go back up, but fight for a place in there, it is, to be honest, to me, it's just more challenging and it's more fun. Like the whole point of just enjoying the game is also like find some challenges wherever I go. And this in Malta now felt like a pretty good challenge that just excited me. So it is not about anything else. It's not about the finances or anything else. To me, it's just like actually being in a space where you feel welcome, you feel you feel like you belong, and at the end of the day, get to also play good football, which I'm already seeing and I'm already enjoying it. So
yes, actually we do. But what about the? Let's try to remember the first time that you arrived to the training center. You know, so you're going up those stairs. You know, and at one point you just arrive and you see the pitch. There's that door, you know, and you come in, you see the pitch. Then there's the gym. Then there's the rehab area. Then there's the dressing rooms. Then there's what does a player think, you know, when he sees all that, everyone he's surrounded by the whole setup. Let's put it that way, yeah.
The first time it actually came to me, the president, I got lost because I couldn't understand how the training facility was upstairs on the rooftop. And so he came down to actually come get me, and then we went back up. And to be honest, it's for a club in Malta and for the project that the club has set its eyes on. It has everything from just not even just the staff, just like the environment. It's run in a very professional manner, so it provides the players the ability to just focus on like everything else than just anything else. So everything else meaning like anything else to do with stuff on the field, and just forget that they have to deal with if they are injured, what doctor they're gonna go see, or if I mean, I know my training schedule from now till the end of February, for instance. Like I understand what dates I have off. It's like there's a lot of thought and work that is being put in, and so it makes the environment feel very comfortable. Just like I explained, my day to day is just focused on just coming to work and just doing my best, training well and making sure I'm prepared for the game. So everything else, from the gym, from the training staff, from the physiotherapist to, you know, our nutrition, for instance, is all kind of taken care of. So all you just have to do, and all that's left to do, is just kind of show up and just work hard and just enjoy being out there. And obviously, it's not a bad place to train. The environment is super nice.
Place. It's a beautiful place to. It's a beautiful place.
It is a gorgeous place.
Yes. All Sliema is actually a nice place to stay, actually. But our training facilities, yes, we have to say, they are really top notch. Let's go back a little bit to our sponsors, okay? So,
sounds good.
NM Group. Come on, Group. X6, Cozy Rooms, Daikin, Eurosport, Kia Motors. L-aħħar, mhux l-inqas Zarb Coaches, ovvjament, ħantellalkom ukoll dawn in-numru tal-iBan, il-BOV Mobile Pay u Revolut, dawn qegħdin hemmhekk biex dawk minnkom illi jkunu jistgħu jagħtu dik xi ħaġa żgħira dejjem jistgħu. Tajjeb, nfakkarkom ukoll il-YouTube page tagħna qiegħda tikber anke bis-saħħa tagħkom. Illejla dan il-kontenut li qegħdin taraw bħalissa ikun uploaded fuq YouTube u fuq YouTube forsi il-kwalità tkun anke ħarir aħjar in terms of picture biex niftehmu. Ħanaraw daqsxejn waħda ukoll il-messaġġi li għandna għax rajt diversi messaġġi tal-għajn. Tajjeb, ħafna mela, Pierre Muscat, awguri l-Walter Arċu għal viċi President. Nawguralu jien ukoll il-Walter, naf kemm Walter jaħdem għal dan il-klab minn filgħodu sa filgħaxija, wieħed minn dawk in-nies illi il-ħin kollu imwaħħal mat-telefon partikolarment mal-President u Alex Muscat biex jipprova jagħmel il-ġitta dan il-klab. Jiena naħseb illi jixraqlu ħafna. Auguri Walter, bil-qalb kollha. There is a certain Neil Frendo, I don't know if you know him, Geoffrey, that he says that great player and a great guy, you know. Usually Neil is always here, you know. He's always giving his opinion, you know, even on other players. He's a fantastic guy, Neil, you know. He's a fantastic guy. Joseph Muscat says, what a great, humble person. Jeffrey, nice explanation. Welcome to be part of a great, glorious club. A very talented, never say die footballer. And then Joan Weber, que se promissar neste grande club, the Sliema Wanderers, Geoffrey. Sorry, Geoffrey, I'm trying to understand, to read Spanish, but I'm not really good at it. You know, so I'm making.
No, please take your time.
Oh no, but I'm telling you, dude, I'm making fun of myself, you know, over here. I have to apologize to Joanne Weber about this, you know. I really have to apologize because I hope I'm not doing justice, you know. I'm not really doing justice. Caroline Mifsud says, Auguri Walter, awċore proset ta' xogħol siwi li qed tagħmel il-club. So, back again to you, Geoffrey. So, let's, for an instance, okay? For an instance, you are back to being, not to be a Sliema player. And you are seeing the club from the outer part, you know, you're seeing Sliema from the outer part. How does a player look at Sliema, you know? What does he say when he says Sliema, when he sees Sliema? What are the impressions over there? By the way,
to be honest, I think maybe...
by the way, Mr. Rashid Al-Toumi, he sends his regards as well.
Hey, thanks, Rashid. I might have maybe a little bit of a biased opinion because when I was with Mosta, I spoke to Ini because Ini had been out here, or he's been in Malta for quite some time, and he had a stint with Sliema too. He had nothing but positive stuff to say about Sliema. So I kind of, from the outside, had a fair idea how the club is being run, how professional environment is, how effective the front office is, how friendly and welcoming and how open everybody is. So I kind of had that idea coming in. And so with any other teams that, or any other offers that were available when Mosta almost put me on the chopping block, I had that in my mind. I had that in the back of my mind if I wanted to move from a place where it would be a suitable place for me. And obviously moving in the transfer window in the winter, you don't have much time to really decide and kind of have a fair, you know, and it's not a long stretch, but having that information from Ini and speaking to him about the club made it a little bit of an easier decision. But to be honest, also, if I didn't have that information from anybody else, it's like playing against Sliema in the last year, you could tell that even though, just like we do this, we've been able to do in the last couple of games that I've been involved, there's this identity that Sliema has. Like, it didn't matter if they were losing 1-0 or 2-0 or winning 1-0 or 2-0. There's this identity that I felt like they all understood their roles. Like playing against Sliema, you understood that this player is gonna be here, this player is gonna be there, this is where the ball is gonna start, and nothing was gonna change. It was the culture of the club. And from the outside looking in, that is something, once you see that on the field, that is something that you get to kind of understand that the DNA of the club just is like tailored throughout. Like the way the reserve plays is the way the first team plays, is the way the 18s play. It's like, there's something that speaks to. And so for me, from the outside looking in, there was this level of organization to some extent that you could just already understand, even though you had no idea. So if you were to take a guess, that is what I could get from the outside looking in at that time. But obviously now it is almost been reaffirmed, and being part of it, I could understand why it felt that way from the outside.
This is a good group, and you can tell that this is a good group. You know, I can see that. I can see it even in you, actually. You know, that's you settled down so easily. Yeah. It's as if you've been with us for the last, I don't know how many few years, not I feel just a month or so. You know, I could see, you know, the way that that you settled in. How important was this group for you to settle in so easily? You know, it was lightning, you know. I mean, how fast you settled in.
I would definitely use this chance to actually, I mean, I know some of my teammates already hopped on to say hello, but to honestly just like thank them and also just give them a big ups, because it's not going to be just me. In the future, there's going to be guys who are going to come into the locker room to help make the team better. And the transition that I have seen in this less than a month has been exceptional. From the first day to my first game in only a couple of days, it already felt like I had belonged with a club for a while. Everybody was super welcoming, from the coaching staff to the kit man. Everybody just made sure that if there was anything that I needed, it was provided. If it was communication that I needed, if it was, a ride, if I needed to understand where to park my car, if I needed, it was like everybody was just pitching in. And so by the time there was a game on a Sunday, I already felt at home. I already knew my job on the field. I already knew, what was expected of me. So it didn't take too long, and it honestly is something that is very commendable. As a guy who has obviously been a journeyman and bounced from club to club for a while, I think that is invaluable to have in the squad, to be able to find players who will come in, and it wouldn't take that long for them to transition into it. It makes the club better. It makes the locker room better. It makes the coaching staff look and be better. So overall, it's something that I really do appreciate, and it's obviously helped me a lot in this last month.
Jeff, we already spoke a little bit about the coach, so now pay attention. Let me remind you that Saturday we have the match, and pay attention what you're gonna say, because I'm gonna put you in a bad position here, So, listen, tell me something about the coach. I got to know the coach through the years, because coach has been very much involved in Maltese football, and very obviously you can tell what kind of person he is, both on the pitch and off the pitch, But what is your take on this person who is leading us towards the next promotion? Let's put it this way. Hopefully soon. Let's put it this way.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to my mind is how lucky the club is to have him as the guy in charge of at the helm of the club, to be honest. His attention to detail, it is next to none, to be honest. And I've played for a couple clubs with some high profile coaches, for instance, in locker rooms that felt at times out of hand, but he has this pulse on the locker room, where he knows exactly what is going on at all times, and it's no overbearing at all. He's just very disciplined and tactical with his decision making. Even the way he kind of manages the squad, to be honest. Some games you would see his squad management and the way he will make sure that, okay, you play maybe 90 minutes this game, or you play 60 minutes this game, you have a knock, make sure that you see the trainer. He kind of knows anything that is going on. So his ability to just be there but not be there at the same time is something very special. I was just having this conversation with one of my teammates, I think it was yesterday actually, about how by the time you get to the game, at least the last 3 games that I've played, or 4, by the time you get to the game, even though there's a game coming up, you have had so much information and so much understanding of the opponent that by the time you get to the game, I kind of know from the keeper to the striker exactly what every movement is going to look like. And so it makes the job a lot easier. It makes it gives this level of confidence to the team. I think everybody else could see, who has watched the team the last couple weeks or even months, that on the field, it just seems almost seamless the way the team plays. But it is a huge testament to the coach and the coaching staff, the work that they do from Monday to Sunday when we go out there and play. It's really something special. And I'm not just saying that that because I need to play on the weekend or he just my coach. It's something that I really find.
You pulled it off,
something
man.
I really admire. No,
I'm
not even kidding. It's something that I really admire.
I know you will. Come on, I'm just pulling your leg. Just before I do the last few questions, let's have another round to see if there are any other questions for you from supporters. As I told you, this Rashid someone here, Mr. Rashid Al-Toumi, he says, come on, Geoffrey, Caroline, she says very obviously hello to Rashid. Joanne Weber, she wrote something about yoga to you. I don't know if you know what it means. Sorry, Geoffrey, I don't understand
Is it in
I'm really
Spanish?
in it. It is. I think so. I think so. Once again, I apologize, Joanna. I mean, I'm trying to make a massive effort over here, but I'm failing desperately, I mean, I'm really failing desperately over here. But kudos to me, at least, for the effort.
No, you're trying. No, that's all
I'm
that
trying.
counts.
I'm
That's all that
trying.
matters.
I'm trying. Okay, let's talk a bit about next Saturday's game. This is a very important game. I mean, Zaytoun, although they have lost a few players during this winter transfer market, they were one of the contenders for promotion. Very obviously, they are not cut out as yet. So this is going to be, like all the others, a very important match. The second of the 10 finals that we have. What's your take about it, Ait? How are we going to prepare? How are we preparing for this?
I mean, it's Wednesday, so we have already spent the last 3 days getting to watch film from the last game, getting to understand what our opponents are going to do in the next game. I think the biggest thing that we do, or at least the club has been able to show, is the fact that our identity and our team identity and the way we want to play is what comes first. So yeah, Zaytoun is going to have their game plan, and so will we, but our main emphasis is what we are going to do to make sure that at the end of 95 minutes, we have done every single thing in our power to come away as winners. So emphasis is normally not placed on the other team. I mean, we do watch film and we do make sure we analyze and see what their strengths and weaknesses are so we could exploit them and all protect ourselves from them. But just like any other week in the last at least 4 weeks that I've been involved, it has always been heavy on us and less on them. And so far it's been, it sounds like it's been a good strategy to just focus on what we could do better than them and a little less on what they could do to hurt us. And so just like any of those weeks, it's going to be another week of just making sure that we at least have super high energy on the field. We work hard for each other. We just stay disciplined and always just make sure that, at the end of the day, once those things are taken care of, and it's proven that we've come around and come off with some good victory. So nothing's going to change. It's just going to be one of those days.
Yeah. One of the next ones. So if Geoffrey would want to make a promise to the supporters, what would be this promise, just to close it off like that,
Yeah. Honestly, it's just like how this team has been playing, just like how I have tried to kind of adapt and be part of the entire group. One thing that the team is always going to do is just work hard, try and play beautiful football. And to the supporters, it's like, just like how they've been there for the team this whole season, just keep doing that. Obviously, the goal is to just get Sliema back to where he belongs, get us back to Premier, not just to be there, but to stay and compete and be contenders and just actually just have something for the fans to be excited about week in, week out. And so for the next however many games left to the end of the season, it's just going to be a lot of hard work. Today, one of the things that Coach Paul talked about was how he admires the work rate and the intensity that we have. Even if we have 3-0, even if we have 5-0, it doesn't matter. We are still putting in a shift week in, week out. And so that is one thing that no matter what happens in any game, that you could expect it from the club. You could expect it from me, that a good game or a bad game, you would see us like chasing and you see us running and you see us like putting in our maximum effort. So, but for the fans, that is probably going to be it. It's just we're going to always like represent the color, represent the badge, represent the club in the best way that we can. And nothing is going to change till the final whistle. So that is probably it.
From my side, I can't thank you enough for being with us. Thank you for this 41 minutes that we have been talking. We got to know a little bit Geoffrey a little bit more. Welcome to the club. I know that you are feeling at home already. I can see that, even on the pitch, it is so evident that you are feeling at home already. So thank you very much. I enjoyed big time this conversation with you. I hope to see you soon over here so that we'll get a recap to see how it all developed, and why not see,
of course,
and make plans even maybe for next season,
No, I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me. And hopefully at the end of the season, we could definitely do a recap on how everything went. So
I'll take you on the word for that. So, intom is-supporters Slimizi, ovvjament nirringrazzjakom tal-li bqajtu magħna għal dawn l-40 minuta, ma nafx intom imma jiena ħadd gost niskopri lil dan il-bniedem illi apparti illi huwa plejer huwa bniedem ta' intelligenza kbira wkoll, bniedem kif naqbad ngħid, bniedem illi kellna bżonn anka fil-grupp, biex ikompli jgħinna għal kumplament tal-kampjonat. Ma fadalli xejn iżjed. Klif nagħmel appuntament tiegħi magħkom għal nhar is-sibt li ġej għall-logħba kif konna qegħdin ngħidu fl-4:30 kontra Zejtun Centenary Stadium, itilgħu biħġarkom importanti illi tibqgħu titilgħu, nirringrazzja lil dawk illi jitilgħu b'mod regolari u nispera li dawk illi forsi qegħdin jarawna u li forsi ma jitilgħux daqshekk regolarment jirnexxielhom jitilgħu għal din il-logħba kontra Zejtun. Ovvjament imbagħad nerġgħu niltaqgħu hawnhekk il-ġimgħa d-dieħla fl-istess ħin nhar l-erba' fis-7 ta' filgħaxija biex inkunu qegħdin nitkellmu fuq l-iżjed tim favorit tagħna Sliema u l-isbaħ logħba tad-dinja. Dak it-tant, insellmilkom. Ciao.